So I want to end my comments with some hard truths that I tell in the spirit of fellowship. It has been disappointing to me when a conservative group of lawyers with whom I frequently disagree on policy, but whose professed commitment to a consistent philosophy of federalism and rule of law is something I appreciate. It's disappointing when folks are largely, not entirely, but largely silent about federalism concerns when President Trump sent officers into local communities who did not want them there to intimidate and detain protesters decrying police violence, even though stopping racist police violence was at the heart of the 14th Amendment, was largely silent about the clear civil liberties concerns when the Trump administration used excessive force to clear peaceful protesters, including clergy members, was largely silent as time and again, President Trump undermined basic rule of law protections and checks and balances that are necessary to the proper functioning of our constitutional democracy, not to mention the dangerous undermining of our sacred civic practice of going to the ballot box to exercise the foundational power of the people. I think it was just last year's convention when I was asked, after a fantastic panel that we did on originalism, why the general public, especially more liberal members of the general public, don't think that conservatives who care so much about the Constitution care about the constitutional ideal of equality. And I was really taken by that question in the audience section of the Q&A. And I think there is no better answer today than that when there is support for presidential emergency powers for a so-called border emergency that is more about stoking racial resentment than an actual emergency, but expressed deep concern over leadership on an honest-to-goodness national public health crisis that has taken more than 230,000 American souls and disproportionately affected Black and Brown communities, then folks might not think your commitment to the constitutional value of equality is that strong, and indeed just the opposite. So I was taught constitutional history and political philosophy mostly by conservatives, and I hope to hear more echoes today of the conservative voices that taught me about fidelity to the rule of law, regardless of which party is in power, fidelity to the Constitution's text, history, and values, and a pledge to foster our continued striving as we the people toward those highest ideals of equality and justice for all. So with that, thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to our discussion.